Hey everyone, I'm back. Well, sorta. I do have things in the works, but like, my lack of motivation is a big pain in my ass, so yeah. I have another Ken Penders video for y'all, since y'all love him on the channel. But this ain't new stuff he did on Twitter and shit. This video is actually a remake on this video right here, since I did miss out some important stuff out in that video while I was rewatching it. So hopefully this will be a definitive video about Ken Penders. We'll go over the history with him and the Sonic comics, the lawsuits and the more bizarre shit he's been on doing over the years, including this. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe, comment, and turn on notifications so that way you never miss a video. Without further ado, let's go!
Here we go!
Now before I go any further, just a little disclaimer that I want to put out. Don't recommend going on his Twitter and harassing him in any way, shape or form, as it'll probably encourage him to do even more stupid shit. But if you do, I can't stop you from doing so, and it's kind of pretty funny, so please don't stop. And with that being said, let's start at the very beginning. That being in the early 90s when Sonic skyrocketed in popularity back then. Around the first few Sonic games, from Sonic 1 to 3, the games were successful hits. Sonic also had two smash hit cartoons, one of them being the wild and goofy Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, where Sonic, Tails, and Robotnik fight Looney Tunes style. And the other cartoon, being the more dark and gritty and more serious cartoon, known as Sonic the Hedgehog, but it's better known by fans as Sonic.TM due to its Saturday morning time slot. Then there was the comics, published by Archie Comics under the Sonic license. It sets in the STM universe, but it's got a little more goofiness than the cartoon. And around issue 11 of the Archie Sonic comics, Ken Penders was decided to be as the main writer of the comics. At the time, he knew nothing about Sonic, but his son and niece did. Okay, real talk though. The thought of finding out that a relative of yours writes comics of one of your favourite franchises is insane, but in the case of Ken Penders, it would be a mistake. He wrote issues 11 all the way to 159 in 2006. After that issue, he decided to quit Archie Comics to pursue better work, in where he can get better creative freedom. His writing is, unique to say the least. Let's go through some of them before we go into the more juicy stuff, shall we? Alright, he apparently created Evil Sonic, which is just a variant of Sonic who's evil and wears sunglasses and a jacket. I don't know why he did it, but it led to one of the creation of fan favorite character known as Scourge the Hedgehog. More on Scourge later. He apparently also creates, and you won't believe it, Sonic standing on the tornado. Motherfucker, that is not your creation! That was created in the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 video game, don't you fucking lie! He also created characters, memorable characters such as Jeffrey St. John, who is a simp for Sally. Note, Jeffrey is 25, and Sally is around the same age as Sonic. What the fuck? What was my boy Ken on? That's all kinds of wrong! Also, Ken was considering having Sally lose her virginity to Jeffrey because Sonic is apparently, and I quote, not fast enough in that department. Which is seriously fucked up. Like, even more fucked up considering how old Sally and Jeffrey are. More on his Twitter later. And here we have Lord Julie Sue, the creation, a character he made in which he has the most fascination in for some reason. Let's just call him Ken's pet. A lot of stories he wrote contain love lives of characters and just strange shit. A bunch of implications of romance. Like, there's this panel of, I think, Evil Sonic, I think it's at least Evil Sonic, and Buddy under a tree, implying that they probably had sex or something like that. And overall other stuff that are just weird or just straight up fucked up. He also tried to kill Sally back in issue 50. Yeah, so there was this whole thing in the comics called Endgame. It was like a 4-parter, and it was like, talking, it was like, Sally was supposed to be dead. Yeah. But one particular reason this was done was due to the cancellation of the Sonic Saturday cartoon and Sonic's popularity in the Sega Saturn era dying. So Penders and the others thought, staff of the comics thought, let's end it with a bang! Nowadays, Ken Penders claims, oh god, Ken Penders claims that because of that comic, the Marvel movie Avengers Endgame, the movie title itself is a reference to the Endgame comic art. Like, bro, you didn't create that word Endgame, so shut the fuck up! And the thing is, Sega didn't even tell the writers anything about the games. And they didn't even look at what the writers were doing to the comics. Hell, they didn't even see the comics. All Sega told the writers is that Sonic is cool, meaning that Ken and other writers can basically write whatever the fuck they want. And oh boy, it was strange. But Ken drew the line when Sega asked him to incorporate the Shadow the Hedgehog game into the comics, causing him to leave Archie in search for greater creative freedom. Now, this would be the end of the video if Ken was just some dude who wrote odd shit in a comic about a blue hedgehog. But at the beginning of the video says, there's mention of lawsuits and other bizarre shit. So let's go and jump right into that shit, shall we? And around 2008, 2 years after Ken's departure from Archie Comics, a Nintendo DS game by the name of Sonic Chronicles The Dark Brotherhood was released. And let's just say the game was mid, but this game was supposed to be a love letter to all things Sonic, including the comics, such as Nocturus Clan, which is based on the Dark Legion in the Archie comics, and a female echidna known as Shady Echidna, who is based on Lara Sue, one of Ken's characters. People brought up the similarities to Ken, and he was pissed, and it was a fucking mistake. So he made 2 lawsuits on Archie Comics and Sega and Electronic Arts. The lawsuit on Archie Comics was to claim all the characters he had a hand in creating, and the Sega and EA lawsuit apparently for copyright infringement, even though Shady Echidna is not Lara Sue. And he did this all because he wanted some profit off the sales of Sonic Chronicles. But since he made the lawsuits at the same time, the judge suggests to settle his suit with Archie first, before settling with Sega and EA. But you wanna know what this motherfucker has tried to do? He tried to make the same lawsuit against Sega and EA again when he hasn't finished his with the Archie comics. Not to mention that Archie has lost Ken's original contracts when he started working for the company. But they did find a photocopy of his 1996 contract in which Ken thinks of it as a forgery. Then Archie fired their entire legal team and hired a new one, and in which the new legal team has admitted to court that prior counsel blew it, making Ken win the suit and obtain over 200 characters. Now before I go further, as a little disclaimer, I am not against that creators have ownership of their own work. As an artist myself, you should at least have ownership of characters you create, or partial ownership. Even by that time when Ken won the suit against Archie, he attempted to file the suit against Sega and EA again to gain the profit of Sonic Chronicles, and which at this point, the sales of Sonic Chronicles has basically stopped, causing the case to be dismissed. And then, Archie Comics made the choice to reboot the Sonic comics to erase all traces of Ken's creations to make a fresh start through the Super Genesis wave. Over time, the comics got better in storytelling and other stuff, but during the retelling of the classic games in 2017, the Archie Sonic comics were cancelled after releasing 290 issues, making it the longest comic book based on a video game franchise. And even then, Sega eventually gave the comic book rights of Sonic to IDW, and the comics are great. If not, they're better than Archie comics in my opinion, and I would always recommend it for anyone to read it who hasn't yet. But Sega had to put stricter mandates to ensure that Ken and another Ken Penders situation wouldn't happen again, and all of this was Ken's fault. And now that we got the lawsuit out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the bizarre shit that Ken has done over the years. First bit, as soon as he got ownership of his characters, he tried to make a comic called the Lara Sue Chronicles, in which he puts his echidna, I'm sorry, I meant echidna, I don't know how you fucking pronounce it, but I do not care. in which the comic has been in development for over a decade. He keeps saying that it'll come out soon and keeps swearing that it'll be a major hit. Ken, just face reality and cancel the comic at this point. Nobody fucking cares, man. His artwork is straight up ass overall, and bro tried to make NFTs like this. Why go in the NFT games? Like, bro. And his Twitter. Oh boy, this man's fucking Twitter. This fucker will not stop flexing at the fact that he has over 200 Sonic characters, and will not shut the fuck up about his Lara Sue Chronicles comic. Like, nobody fucking cares, man. I remember what I said about Jeffrey and Sally losing her virginity. Remember all of that? Well, Ken made tweets stating that Sally is apparently 32 in squirrel years, and the age of cassette is 16 in Utah. Like, shut up, bro. These fucking excuses doesn't change the fact that you tried to hook up 16-year-old Sally with basically Pepe Le Pew as a soldier. Like, what the fuck? That's disgusting. Who needs to know the age of consent in Utah and Sally in squirrel years? I'll tell you, nobody. He also keeps shitting on Ian Flynn, all because Ian can actually make better stories than Penders. Like, leave my goat alone, bro. Bro did nothing wrong. And in other bizarre shit, he tried to sweep Paramount over the Sonic Movie 2, having one little flashback to Knuckles' father. And I think he'll probably be even more pissed when the Knuckles show comes out. Like, bro really thinks he created Knuckles and the Echidnas. Bro, Echidnas are actually real-life creatures. And lastly, he tried to pitch his fucking Sonic movie back in 2003. For context, Ben Hurst, one of the writers behind the Sonic SatAM cartoon, wanted to bring Sonic SatAM Season 3 to life. He talked about it being either an actual Season 3 or have it as a movie to fully conclude SatAM, and Deke were fully on board with it. But Ben and Deke would have to talk to Sega about it, since Deke and Hurst would have to ask for the Sonic license in order to go ahead with these plans. Ben contacted an executive for Sega and mentioned the call being pleasant, but the next day, Ben got another call. Ken rang him and caught wind of the SatAM revival and wanted to get involved, and Ben wasn't really all too against the idea, and from that decided to have Ken on board. Only to get backstabbed by Penders. Apparently, Ken contacted Sega and told her that Hurst was attempting to co-opt the Sonic brand and not to go forward with Hurst and his SatAM revival, killing off any chance of an official SatAM conclusion. And the reason as to why Ken did this is so he can kick Hurst off the project and pitch Sega his own ideal Sonic movie. And the thing is, Sega believed Penders, and this Sonic SatAM Season 3 or a movie conclusion will never officially happen, especially with the fact that Hurst passed away in 2010, and with that, Sonic SatAM passed away with him. And so, Ken pitched to Sega Sonic Armageddon with this fucking video pitch, which is, interesting to say the least. I'll show you a bit now, but I'm not going to show you too much, because if I show you too much, Ken is going to probably come up to my ass. So here's the only clip you're only going to fucking get. Enjoy.
Whoa.
And he showed to Sega 4 concept artworks as what the film would look like, which, in my opinion, looks a lot better than the video pitch, but it's still very, very weird. But Sega rejected the idea, but they weren't too weirded out by the dude, and Ken continued to write the Sonic comics with little to no input from Sega, until he quit Archie Comics in 2006. But to sum things up, Ken Penders is a pathetic man, and he's living in the past. And Ken, if you're watching this, and I'm pretty sure you are, all I want to say is stop trying to be a cockflexer to the Sonic fanbase. The Lara Sue Chronicles isn't going to be a success. You don't own Knuckles or the Echidnas. The Echidnas are actual living creatures, bro. Ken, hear me out. You need to touch some fucking grass, bro. Let go of Sonic, Ken. The damage he caused to this franchise is done. And now you know why Ken Penders is the #1 enemy of the and #1 op of the Sonic fanbase. And with that, we've reached the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to ignore my disclaimer if you are of roasting Ken Penders all you want. Despite saying it, Ken getting ratioed is just too funny, man. And until then, until the next video, Meme Squid out, and I'll see you guys next time. Hey everyone, post-editing Meme Squid here. Thanks for watching, and I know I haven't made a video in it forever. I do apologize for that. And I can't guarantee me having a full return to YouTube. I can't really guarantee that for you guys, but I do have videos planned. I do have some stuff that I do hope you guys enjoy. I want to make videos that are not related to Ken Penders. I actually just want to make content that's like, you know, so stuff that I like Sonic, Nintendo, video, anything that just is of my interests. And I know, again, I'm literally recording this with no fucking script, but we fuck it, we ball. But yeah, thanks for watching. I do hope to make more content in the future. Again, I do hope. I can't guarantee it, but I'll try. But yeah, I just hope you all have an amazing day, and you guys are awesome. See you later.